is Tonya Ford. I am the executive director of a national nonprofit organization known as United Support and Memorial for Workplace Fatalities. In 2009, I lost my Uncle Bobby in a work-related incident after he fell 80 feet off of a belt-operated man lift at a grain elevator facility. It was an outdated man lift device. It's a very unsafe device where you're basically standing on a platform that moves on a belt and it goes over 80 feet high and you have no cage around you to catch you. My uncle was a fun person. He was the individual that you could always go to and talk to about anything. He was very family-oriented. Holiday season, he was with us. Any family functions where people were getting awards or graduations, he was the first to be there. Definitely put his kids at the top, wanted to be there for their school functions and be their cheerleader. He worked beside my dad, and they were hired on the exact same day, and they were supposed to leave on the same day. They were the two individuals that would enter the company early before they were supposed to be there at 7, but they were there way earlier than that. He had 2 children. He had a daughter who had just graduated college and a son who just entered college at that time. There was many emotions that I went through, one of which was disbelief that this happened. You never really hear of this happening, and until you stand in our shoes where you've lost a loved one. What they did at that time was left their web address and their email, and I immediately contacted them, asking them a little bit more about the organization and what they do, and they soon told me how many people in the U.S. are affected each day in a work-related incident, and that they're here to offer us support and guidance, anything from how do you find the OSHA investigation report or the police report, and how do you turn this negative, tragic incident into something positive. And they soon were able to get me, along with, I want to say, probably about 15 other family members, to Washington, D.C. to speak to our local legislature and our representatives and let them know that hey, this is happening here in Nebraska, it's happening in other states, and we need to make sure that the OSHA regulations are there, they're consistent, and prevent these from happening again in the U.S. We have quite a bit that we work on. Currently, obviously, our first and most important thing that we do is we reach out to the families that have been affected by work-related incidences, and we offer them the support and the guidance and resources. We help them try to find the answers to the many questions that one has after such an incident, such as what happened that day, who was with my loved one that day, what happened? What does that individual know? What was my loved one doing? Was anybody with him or her? Maybe even to the fact of what was the last thing my loved one said. They want to turn something positive into their loss. And that may mean, for instance, being able to make sure that if a family member does want to receive the investigation report from the law enforcement, that families have that right to receive it. And we have found out in the last year that that's not always the case in every state. So then we help their families tell their story, reach out to their state legislature if it's a state law, and help them make these changes to prevent other families from enduring such issue or concern that may have happened. Then we also take family members to Washington, D.C. from across the nation and give them the opportunity to speak to our federal OSHA office and representatives, to their state representative and other state representatives, and talk to them about how we feel the importance of OSHA is. and why we think having enforcement on regulations is very important to our workers today, tomorrow, and in our future, and why companies should be cited if there's a work incident to prevent them from happening again. I 100% feel that my uncle and many other work-related incidences are 100% preventable. Everybody should go home at the end of the day, and these aren't accidents, they're incidences. So many things that as a father, the grandkids he's missed out on, and weddings and everything. But we hold him dear in our heart and know he was there in spirit joining us. So going to work should not be a grave mistake, and together we can make a difference. USMWF invites you to visit our website for more information regarding our mission and our future events.